In this hand, you're playing a $44 tournament with loose American competition. Oh, actually, no, this was a cash game, low stakes cash game. One of my students said nobody ever folds at low limits. I said, why don't we play one of the lowest limits there is? And we'll see what we can get people to do. Okay. And I don't even remember how low this is, but this is like micro stakes, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, so we have ace queen off on the button. And okay, this is just like your games. Nobody wants to fold. This is a lot like a 1-2 game. So you have ace queen off on the button. Looks like a couple people posted. Okay. And somebody raised. You have ace queen. I'm just going to speed you up to pre-flop. We raise big as we should. And we get called by one player. The board comes 9 of clubs, 6 of clubs, 5 of diamonds. Villain 51 checks to you here. Here, do you want to check or bet? That's it. We bet 7 big blinds. They call. The turn's the 3 of clubs. It gets checked to you here. Check or bet? We check here. The river is the 4 of spades. Villain 51 checks to you. It's on you. Check or bet? Hit pause if you need more time. We put him all in right there, and he folds. So this is a very basic bluff. And look, this was whatever, 2 cent, 5 cent, or whatever. And we were still able to get the guy to fold. People play loose at low limits, but they won't donate their money unless they're just absolutely crazy. Most of the time when people say my bluffs don't work at low limits, what they're really saying is when I bet half pot, nobody ever folds to me. Or when I bet without thinking of my opponent's range, nobody ever folds to me. If you really are patient and pay attention and use process of elimination and ask yourself, what hands can my opponent not have? You will find spots to bluff at even the lowest limit games. So in this hand, we raise, we see bet small, he calls, all right, you win. Because this is low limits, this guy could have jack 2 of diamonds. So we're cashing out our equity a lot of the time. Okay, so he checks on the turn. You take it, buddy. Good to you. Good for you. But he checks again on this river, and you got to think to yourself, always be asking yourself that question, what hands can he not have? Most low-limit players, when they make a hand, they're terrified about not making money from it because every poker player thinks they run bad. Every single poker player believes they run bad. Go to any poker room in the world, ask an average person, do you think you run normal on average, better than average, or worse than average? Do you think you generally run good or run bad? Almost every single person will tell you they run bad. Why? Because people are impatient. They believe they should be dealt hands constantly. Whenever they have to wait for a hand, it is a huge injustice. So when they finally do get a hand, they're very worried about not getting paid for it. Why? Because they assume they're not going to get another hand again because they never get dealt anything. So if this guy had a flush, he would have led river. If this guy had a straight, there's a chance he would have led river. When he checks, this is very likely to be one mediocre pair that desperately does not want you to bet. Your bet doesn't even need to work that often. When you bet about roughly a half pot, that bet needs to work about a third of the time. And if he folds 50, 60% of the time with his mediocre pairs, you're just printing money. So we bluff right here, and he goes ahead and mucks. If you want to learn more about how to bluff on the felt, go check out my free training package in the information section of this video. It's about how to triple barrel bluff more. Check it out. You'll love it. If you want more content just like this, go to pokerheadrush.com. That website one more time, pokerheadrush.com.